For dry January, I tried some of the most popular non-alcoholic alternatives so that you don't have to. So that if you're taking part in dry January or later on in the year, sober October, you've got a little bit of information about what the best lagers and alternatives are if you want to cut down on your alcohol drinking. So first up, and by far probably my favorite, was Guinness Zero. It actually tastes like actual Guinness. I do enjoy a pint of Guinness every now and then. This was a bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. When I actually tried it, I had to make sure that I hadn't accidentally picked up cans of normal Guinness. And at 75 calories a can, you can't really argue with that. Especially when you compare it to a normal can of Guinness, which is 150 odd. So yeah, Guinness, really tasty. Tastes literally exactly like Guinness, except there's just no alcohol in it, which is, if you want to save yourself from a hangover, always a good thing. Next up, again, another one of my favorite lagers, and a zero alcohol alternative. It was Moretti. A bottle of zero alcohol Moretti, it was 66 calories, which if you compare that with an alcoholic alternative to that, it was 125 for a bottle of Moretti with alcohol in it. And so that obviously shows like the difference between the two. You don't get a hangover from one and you save a few calories. Thirdly, again, another one of my favorite lagers was Peroni. Again, the same size bottle, 330 milliliters. The 0% Peroni was 76 calories. And when we compare that with an alcohol bottle, a bottle with alcohol in it, that's 140 calories, and it's roughly about half. Can't really argue with that. Next one was cans of Budweiser Zero, which again are the same size as the bottles, which always sounds strange because you always think that a bottle's a little bit bigger. But 330 milliliters, and a can of, they're in silver cans, a can of 0% Budweiser was 46 calories. When we compare that with a normal bottle of Budweiser, is 135 calories. So again, it's like literally, it's even less than half. So the 0% Budweiser tasted okay, was all right. Not the best, not the worst. Kind of like what normal Budweiser is. Not the best beer in the world, but not the worst either. And next up was Corona Zero, which a bottle of that was 56 calories, which obviously is hardly anything. And when we compare that with a normal bottle of Corona, that's like 150 calories, which again, it's about half, it was less than half even. So with all these alternatives, you're basically saving calories. You're not actually getting drunk, so you don't feel like shit the next day. You're gonna miss out on that hangover. And yeah, you're gonna basically have most of the benefits of actually having a bevy without actually having one, which the no alcohol and low alcohol alternatives have gotten a lot better over the last couple of years. Obviously, a lot of people have become more health conscious, and so reducing actual alcoholic intake can be quite a useful thing. As a little couple of strategies, you can either choose to stick to these for most of your nights out, if you really want to, or if you're not looking to get absolutely trolleyed, swap in one or two throughout the night and you'll feel a lot better for it. If you just fancy a drink and you really like Guinness, then I'd highly recommend the Guinness Zero, because like I said before, I actually had to check that I'd not accidentally bought actual cans of Guinness because it tasted exactly the same. Out of all the lagers, I would probably say that my favorite was probably the Moretti. One point that I will make on all of the lagers though is keep them in the fridge, definitely overnight, because you can't really get away with them being kind of cold. They have to be ice cold for them to taste pretty decent. So there's a little bit of info on some non-alcoholic alternatives that you can get stuck into for dry January if you're doing that. If you're being a bit more health conscious and you're trying to reduce your alcohol intake, then these can be a really straightforward way of sort of softening the blow a little bit, of cutting back on drinking. Swap out some of your drinks for some low or no alcohol alternatives and you will really reap the benefits.